afternoon, I'm Kelly.
And I'm Jason.
And we are Craving Cinematics Silver Linings.
Yes.
Today, we decided to watch an old movie because I still can't drive because of foot surgery. And we chose Gentleman's Agreement by Elia Kazan. So what did you think of this movie?
Well, would you mind if I gave a little background on our selection
Give a little background.
Okay.
You all probably don't know what this is about.
Right.
It's good.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we didn't select this movie based off of the topic.
Right.
We were just looking to find a nice classic movie, and we both looked at some ones that were on Netflix, and we found this one with Gregory Peck on it, who is a wonderful actor. Yeah, it's fantastic. I would Atticus Finch in The Kill a Mockingbird.
Right.
That's how I always think of him. So we selected this movie, and it turned out to be quite an amazing selection. And so I think I have to give credit to Kelly for picking this one.
Ta-da.
So
quite a controversial movie, especially for the time.
Absolutely.
I guess we should explain why it's controversial. You want to do that?
No. We'll let him guess. Guess? No? Okay. We'll
go watch it.
Watch it first.
And we're done.
No. It's great. No. Don't leave. So I'm gonna go into the larger scale. I'm gonna let Kelly talk about a little about the details. But basically, this was a very progressive movie for the time. This was in 1947, 48, 47, 48, and so it's just after World War II. It's before Israel and Palestine became two separate nations. This was just before, I think, the House for the Un-American Activities Committee. This is just before the Red Scare.
Right.
So this movie was very bold, and I even read that some of the actors felt like that they were doing something special. So having said that, I'm going to let Kelly explain what the movie was about.
Okay, well, the movie is about this journalist who moves to New York from California, and he has been given a special task by the editor to write an anti-Semitic article.
The actor is, of course, Gregory Peck.
Gregory Peck, right. And he doesn't really know how to write this. He feels like he doesn't know enough about being Jewish. He does have, his best friend is Jewish, and so he kind of, growing up, lived through his friend Dave, his life of being Jewish, and seeing kind of how Dave was treated. So what Gregory Peck decided to do was become Jewish. And so he started telling people that he was a Jew, and noticed how differently he was treated. Immediately.
Like one of the.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I mean, he was working with this magazine, and he let it out that he was Jewish, and immediately it went around the office, and everybody started talking about it. Right. So within minutes, it was already a big deal that he was Jewish.
Well, his mom was sick, and they had a doctor come to the apartment to check out his mom, and Gregory Peck let out that he was Jewish and wanted to have a Jewish doctor come check on his mom. And immediately then the doctor that was checking on her got very distant, very standoffish, didn't want to really deal with him anymore. They touched on subjects as vacationing, that there were certain places that were, quote, clean, that Jews could not go to. It touched on the subject that Dave, his friend who was Jewish, was looking for an apartment or a house to live in and could not find one in New York City because he was Jewish. And it was very touching and very prominent as to things kind of going on nowadays. And we'll leave it at that because we don't want to get political here. Jason's going, you're starting to go too far, but we don't want to get political.
Red zone.
But it is a very pertinent film for today.
Yeah. What I liked about the film was it tried to put the main characters in the situations where that anybody in any day situation could encounter. Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to do a side note. It uses the Jewish community as the focal point, right? but it's really a message about working with all people.
Yes.
And there's actually a discussion early in the movie about the separation of nationality versus a person's religion, the separation of a type of person versus one type of person, how it really doesn't matter, which was really bold for this time period.
Very bold.
And what we're finding, unfortunately, I will have to say, is bold for today. And that's about as far as I'll go with that. But what it does is it tries, I think what it wants to do is at least give people an idea who view the movie what they could do in the face of that type of prejudice, of that type of, what's the word? I'm losing my words today. Of separation, of having a superior sense of self compared to somebody else. So they have all these examples, and you were saying that you felt that it might have been a little rushed at some points.
Well, a little rushed at some points, but they had a whole lot to get into this 2-hour movie. What was really touching to me, and going along with what you just said about, feeling superior, feeling, one person feeling superior to another person, was when Dorothy McGuire, who played the leading lady, was confronted. She's an elite, wealthy New York lady, but she felt like she was progressive. She felt like she, wasn't prejudiced at all.
Yeah.
To come to find out that really she was, and she was confronted by Dave, the Jewish friend, and he was kind of like, you really need to look at yourself and look at how you're living your life. And she realized.
Yeah, and it wasn't so much what she wasn't or was feeling, it was her inaction. Mm-hmm. Right. So the other thing that I also noticed is that the women were portrayed very strong in this movie. I don't remember movies this old being
especially from back in 1948.
Yeah, like you actually had one of the women proposed to one of the men.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. I thought that was fantastic.
I did too. And well, even Dorothy McGuire's character at the very beginning was very just forward with her speech and outspoken for what we think about women during that time.
Yes.
So y'all go watch this movie. It's an old movie. It is in black and white, which I loved.
Yeah.
It didn't make a difference to me.
It's great. I think it's great for any audience. It's relevant to now. It's good. It got 3 Oscars, so it
won Best Picture for 1948, Best Director for Elia Kazan, and Best Supporting Actress.
Right.
And the little boy.
Dean Stockwell. You might know him from Quantum Leap. So
he won a Golden Globe for Young Actors Award. Yeah. So. Thumbs up. I give it a. What do you think?
I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10.
Really?
Yes.
See, I'd give it an 8.5.
Okay.
Because I just loved it.
So there you have it.
Well, we appreciate you joining us today for Silver Linings, and we were watching once again Gentleman's Agreement by Elia Kazan with Gregory Peck and Dorothy McGuire.
Yes.
So I'm Kelly.
I'm Jason. Subscribe, like. Tell everybody about it, and we'll see you next time.
Be kind to one another.
Please.